Welcome back to Create Above and Beyond. In the last episode, we made this brass making machine and this infinite iron generator, and you guys made sure to let me know that you did not like how the brass machine looked. So you can see off camera, I changed it. I think it's elegant, though I regret even calling the last one elegant, apparently. Um, I think it's hooked up a lot better. I mean, there's as little exposed gears as I could possibly get. Turns out in this version of Create, you can't put casings on gears. You just can't do it. It's not possible. So they're gonna stay fully exposed. But I moved everything one forward, and now nothing's obstructed by anything. To get the speed necessary, I'll show this off by the way. It's a trick I haven't used. Is this adjustable chain gear shift? If you take an adjustable chain gear shift, put it and it receives the rotational power, right? Put it at the top or like wherever it's getting it. Give it power, you'll see its rotation speed is doubled. So that's what we got going on there. It makes these gears pretty fast, but I needed to do it to get the mixer elegant, and I learned that you don't actually need to use a tank, and I made some brass, but I put it away. This does work. Okay, so it looks prettier now. This looks fine. This machine looks totally fine. On the actual side that you see anything of it, there's nothing. There's no exposed nothing. Yes, it does back up, but it's not like we haven't produced a lot of iron. And if you recall, the reason we're producing this iron is to melt it down and make the electron tubes in 16 millibuckets as one nugget. So this is already 772 electron tubes worth of iron. So the next two things on our list that we really need to get for the electron tubes is creating an infinite supply of destabilized redstone, as well as an infinite supply of these pure Certus quartz crystals. And I think the Certus quartz crystals is what we are going to be starting with today. It is a little bit complicated, and it might end up being a little bit messy. There's a lot of filtering necessary for this kind of farm. Filtering that we don't have until we can easily make ourselves the brass machines, and we can't easily make ourselves brass machines until we have the iron and the quartz and the destabilized redstone. So, yeah. We're going to need chutes, we're going to need drawers, we're going to need basins, we're going to need a whole heckin' lot of things. So I am going to get all of that set up, and while I do so, or hopefully while I do so, instead of just losing my mind randomly, why don't we go into the Q&A of the day? This is a special Q&A, this is a supporter Q&A. My super awesome and ultra awesome supporters get priority Q&A questions, and this one's coming in from Happy Mellow from the Discord, as always, asking what my favorite book to movie adaptation is. To be fair, I don't read as often as I probably should, but I would have to say maybe Harry Potter. I like the Harry Potter movies. I suppose as a book to movie adaptation, they're not very faithful. I know that to be true. Right. But they're fun movies. I know Ready Player One was pretty good. I have to say, Ready Player One I feel like was a decent, like at least attempt at being a very faithful book to movie. So I would have to go with Ready Player One. Actually going to be using a new machine in this one called the weighted ejectors, which I do suppose I need some gold plates for. Ooh, it's going to be the last of my gold. I think 2 of them are going to be needed. Weighted ejectors just throw items in one direction, and that's useful in the case of, like, you don't have to use long belts or anything like that. But the big thing we're actually going to be using them for is because they can wait until there is a certain amount of items sitting on top of them. So it's a way to regulate the flow of items, which is very useful. And while I'm just getting this area blocked out, just so you know, good planning and all that jazz, making sure that I have a little bit of a plan for like the actual look and size of the factory. I want to continue using these plots. But yeah, if you are enjoying this series so far, if you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed, it would really, really mean the world to me if you would subscribe. This community is amazing, and I've absolutely had a blast building it. And hey, we're almost at 300 people in the Discord. I know, promotion, 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 but man, the Discord is so cool, and joining the Discord gives you access to apply for the community server, the vanilla community server, which is a total blast. So consider hanging out. Consider making my Discord mod very happy. Okay, a different machine is going to go into this one. This is where we'll be working today. And I'm going to just kind of be lazy and not texture the floor. I'll texture the floor later, okay? Probably. Okay, platform is built. Let's go over the process of creating this little thing. This is called temporary sand. I don't know why. Because to make Certus quartz... Oh, I see. To make Certus quartz seeds, you take sand and Certus quartz dust. So there'll be a little bit of a manual input. But to be fair, like, you don't... I'm going to do a manual input, okay? Because sand is easy. Sand is cheap. You mix it with Certus quartz dust, which is very easy. You just take any Certus quartz and you mill it. Notably, you can use the pure Certus quartz, okay? This recipe produces 2 Certus quartz seeds. You then have them sit under this spout with 500 millibuckets of water. 4 times gets it to tiny, 4 more times gets it to small, 4 more times gets it to pure. So you need to do this 12 times. And then with the pure Certus quartz crystal, that actually gets us all the way down here. So they'll be produced 2 of them. So that one of them goes to be made into the polished rose quartz. The other one is going to be ground up and turned back into seeds. That is this process. And that is partially why we need the weighted ejectors. Because one thing, and of course I forgot it, one other new machine, and I'll go explain it while I run over here. It's called an andesite funnel. When any stack of items comes in, so any amount of items over 1 passes through the andesite funnel, it will split off one of them. So if 2 items go through, it just splits them in half. So we want to send 2 items in at a time, so it splits those items in half. So 1 goes to be crushed, 1 goes to over here to be turned into quartz. That's as simple as that. And I suppose for now, I'll line it up with the iron for ease of access. I mean, eventually this may change, I have no idea. But this will be the exit belt line. And you know what, I'm not going to do that because I think that's a bad way of doing it. Pretty much, the inception of all of this is going to be our mechanical mixer and our mechanical basin. I want to give it as much room, so I'm going to start it over here. I mean, this stuff might move. We're just blocking out right now. And 100% this is going to have to go up by 1. Absolutely. There we go, like so. Okay, so this is what we'll be creating the seeds. There'll be like a hopper on the back that we use for sand. It's fine, okay? There'll be easier ways to make sand soon enough. And we will have the seeds pulled out on this belt line. There we go. I was like, where are my belts? I'm going to need more of these for sure. Yeah, I'm going to go make more. You know what? This belt line, I'm actually going to have go up 1, okay? Because this next part, actually, it's going to go up 2. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So, it's literally going to be put all the way up here. And that's because this next bit is going to legitimately require this much height. This next filtering part is just a pain, but it's really the only way we can reasonably do this. Because depots... we'll need to filter the depot that the spout is on. I've tried using it on belts before, but the problem is it just wants to cycle the belt, and I don't want the Certus to just run around in a big circle. That just looks so ugly, it takes up way too much space. So we're going to go with a tall boy, okay? And the tall boy, we're going to put the depot on, we're going to put the spout on, and this is where the seeds are going to end up, okay? The little seeds are going to end up here. And this is going to spritz them, spritz them, spritz them, spritz them, and turn them into the pure version. And once we have a pure version, which we'll probably need to manually create just a little bit, we'll put it in here, lock the drawer, and then we'll be able to filter just the pure crystals, because this next part of the farm we want, you know, only pure crystals for. So this is already the creation and the purification. This next bit, we are going to pull out the pure crystals onto a weighted ejector. Yes, we're going to pull out the pure crystals onto a weighted ejector that will wait until it has 2 items on top of it. Though we need to know where the weighted ejector is going. Yeah, let's see. Could a weighted ejector just target right here? I feel like that would just be easy, right? Probably? Like that? Like, I feel like that could work. I feel like, let's see. The weighted ejectors are fun because you designate where they go. So I can shift right click here. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't say it wouldn't work. The only trouble is actually going to be powering it. It would be a lot easier to move this system 1 up. I don't really want this belt to be any higher than that, so I think I'll just use a funnel. Yeah. I know I don't need to use a funnel, but I think I'm going to because I don't want this to be so low on the ground. Whoops. I don't want this to be so low on the ground, and I think it would look kind of ugly to have the belt line go any higher than 3. To be fair, I have no good reason to feel that about the belt line, but that's what I feel. That won't pull it into a chute, will it? Like, if I have... Will the andesite belt take precedence? I hope the andesite belt takes precedence. I would really... Well, no, right. The chute's going to be filtered anyways, so it won't matter, and it looks like the belt would take precedence in any case. Okay. This is a little annoying to work on. Boop. Okay, perfect. That's pretty high up. That's a pretty tall little machine right there, but it's gonna be pretty. It's gonna be pretty. Alright, there we go. Because that can be powered with a chain drive there. Or even just like a shaft under here. We'll see. We'll see how it gets powered. But ultimately, that's how you want it to be. And then once this thing is wound up, I think it has to be wound up. I guess I could use a hand crane for that. I'll do that, yeah. Because we can specify, wait till you have... You know what? No, I'll wait. I just... Don't let me forget, okay, chat? Chat. I'm not live. Don't let me forget, though. It's all your fault if I forget. So here is where we're going to be putting the belts, right? And essentially the way this system works is this line will be our, like, congratulations, you're going on to become rose quartz. This line, on the other hand, is going to be the crushing line. Yes, it's the evil crushing line. And to make life easy, we are just going to use, I think, another weighted ejector and target that. Because there we go. Right? That's cute. That's simple. And then all I have to do is slap a millstone here. And there. And there. And I mean, it's pretty good, right? I can make this decorative, like that. I can make this a little decorative, you know? Ooh, kind of nice, right? I feel like that looks... I don't want to say this because I got bullied last time I said this, but I feel like this looks clean. I feel like this is a clean-looking system. As far as the water goes, it's super easy. We'll just... I need to make some more fluid pipes, but literally we'll just pull down here, and there'll be a water source like that, and that's all you need. And then depending on, like, how this thing gets wired, will depend on how to actually... I feel like we could just put a gearbox here and a gear there, and that'll work fine. Like, I'm feeling confident that this is a nice system. For now, what we could do is use a drawer to collect the crystals at the end of this, because they're not going anywhere right now. And there we go. This is it. Ta-da! Get the pump here, and I'll get the pipes here, and then all I have to do is make a simple, like, one of the really simple infinite water sources here. And I have an infinite water source somewhere nearby, so I'll go grab that and get that set up, and yeah. One thing is I really don't want to power this with more water wheels. I'm so tired of water wheels. I want to use a windmill, and whoops, I broke it. As I was saying, I want to use a windmill, and off camera I went and gathered up some sheep and ethically stuffed them into a hole, and I've been ethically breeding them into overpopulation so that I could shear them up and we can get windmill sales, because we very much have access to the means to make a windmill. In fact, it really wouldn't be that hard. All I would have to do is honestly connect the windmill's power to this line here. Could power everything this way. I mean, it feels like a good idea. Um, so I think we'll probably go with that. Windmills are fun and easy, and I've got my ethical sheep hole over there. Oh yeah, and ethical cows too. Right? You guys are happy. Are you guys dying? Oh wait, they might be dying of entity cramming. That's ethical. I've already shorn 15 pieces of wool off the sheep. I think if you get a stack of them, that's enough to make the max power. Oh, wait, no, they're not dying. They're just literally, like, sitting on top of each other. This is making it difficult to shear them. I know eventually, I could right now make a very easy automatic farm for sheep, but this is working. Right? This is what working looks like. Okay. I am short a little bit on making a max size windmill, but to be fair, I don't think we need the 8,000 units of stress. Let's see how to make sailcloth. I think it's easy. Yeah, very. Okay, cool. Oh, I did forget to mention, I did end up expending the fans, by the way, so this thing runs a lot smoother. So no one has to worry about that either. Alrighty, there we go. That would be that many sails. Would I run out of sticks? Oops. You know what? I think we can start with a stack of sails. I think a stack of sails is definitely enough. Here is the windmill. And I like to build my windmills as these turbines, these vertical-facing turbines. I think they just look cool that way. Let's see. So if this is the access point, then the windmill is going to need to be one higher than that, obviously. There we go. Okay, so I think our windy friend is going to be right here. And then underneath of it, we'll use a vertical gearbox in order to split. Yep, just like that. Beautiful. So cool, even. And then it's just as easy as building up the windmill turbine. Which is not a problem, though I think I should, just in case, have myself a water bucket in case I need a bucket clutch, because, you know, sometimes you fall off these things. And all you have to do for windmills, unless they've changed something recently, but I don't think they have, is just place a block in, and then you can just attach your sails to it, and great. Aesthetically, that's... No. Stop. There we go. Oh my gosh, it is not that hard to attach the windmill sails like that. I just want like that. That's how I make my little turbines. And by the way, there's no like a more or less efficient way of making a windmill in Create. It doesn't matter its shape or anything like that. It just matters how many sails are attached to it. So we're just going to build up a big old turbine because I always think they look really neat, you know. And of course, the big benefit of using a windmill is, as I said, at maximum sails, which is 128, they produced 8,192 stress units. So at 64 sails, they're going to produce half that, so somewhere in the ballpark of 4,000. And I do not want it to be an ugly-looking one, like everything else in my Create world. Boom, that was a beautiful bucket clutch. And I'm pretty sure that should just be as easy as... Yep, 4,096 stress units. Is it spinning in the correct direction? No. But I think you can hit it with a wrench. Yes, you can hit it with a wrench to make it spin in the right direction. Because obviously we don't want to be breaking anything. And this should add its stress units to the system. Absolutely beautiful. That also means we can gear ratio the heck out of all of this, which is great. And that's literally more stress units than this entire engine combined in about half or even a third of the time it took me to build that. So, beautiful. Let's bring over the main power line. Alright, so a few complications that I can see. So this belt and this belt need to be moving in opposite directions. So that actually isn't a complication, that is a blessing, like so. And, in fact, that also is a blessing like so. That's already pretty. That's nice, okay? There's no world where that isn't awesome. Now, wiring this guy is going to be a pain because more likely than not, I'm going to need / want a gear ratio. So let's explore that. I am trying to get better at creating elegant looking solutions and good. I call it wiring. I don't think that's the term that people actually use to describe this. A vertical gearbox would work well. Well, would a vertical gearbox work at all, actually, is the question. I don't know if wiring is what it's actually intended to be called. That's what I do call it. But I do genuinely want to make good looking contraptions for you. No, that would interesting. Does that block it as well? No, it shouldn't. How do I do this pretty like? Because I really don't want anything jutting out from there. I suppose I could try it on the other side. There? No, see, that can't be a... No, that can be a vertical gearbox. Oh, saving myself from stupidity. This can be a vertical gearbox. It can... There we go. That can be a vertical gearbox. Beautiful. And then that doesn't... Worst part of it, too, is I could put a big cog here and power this as well. I feel that's pretty cool. Well, in the meantime, I actually think this would work. I think that would work. And I think this might have to be a necessary evil. I talked about how I thought wiring this should look. So let's see if that works well. I love having so many cogs. I really should make the more efficient crafting method for it, though. In due time, I suppose. I think that looks fine. Yeah, that looks fine, right? Suppose, like, we'd be looking at the machine from, like, this direction. Well, that's not my favorite. Those encased right there are definitely not my favorite to look at. If I were to break this, then I could just use another gearbox to make it look prettier. Yeah, I'm not gonna fuss about like one inefficient use of a gearbox, because it overall just makes that look so much nicer. Boop, visually pleasing. And that is literally everything but this hooked up. No one comment anything. Well, no, because then that's still an issue, right? The issue is still, where does the power enter from? Because anywhere would power this whole thing. I think I've done a really good job of making so that anywhere the power comes in, the whole machine is powered. It just comes to where is a nice place to do that. And, like, having the non-vertical gearbox, right? Having this non-vertical gearbox does that, but we lose this line, which is really important. Okay, I've had an idea of routing it into this, and I just want to see how that would look. Potentially, it does not look very good at all. Come on now, thank you. Potentially, this doesn't look good at all. Oh, of course. Of course. So this, by the way, we could just immediately set to make sure, so it'll wait until there are 2 items on it, but our problem is that these belts spin in the wrong direction. And I'm not like a massive fan of this. The only thing is, obviously it would make it a lot easier to pull this part off, I think. Oh no, that's going wrong as well. What about that? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And then we get a weighted... No, weighted ejector is fine. And the direction of this doesn't matter. What? I mean, there's a leak. Oh, is that just the achievement for doing that? Okay. And then if I connect a shaft... Stop it! If I connect a shaft this away, and then our gearbox friend goes here, that keeps that powered. And that's almost everything working. I say, of course, almost everything, because of this. Because this needs to connect to a belt of some kind. And I genuinely could do this. but I don't know. It works. It's kind of hidden. But I don't want you guys to think the build's ugly, and I don't want to make ugly builds. Like that's a goal of mine with this series. I want to become better at create. And I don't know if this is an ugly thing to do. It's cool, it works, it squares off the entire thing. I don't think it's like a terrible solution. But I also know that I've thought other things were nice in the past. In any case, I'm going to leave it like this for now. And I'm actually going to use another adjustable chain drive to make that machine go double speed, because I feel like this is a kind of a machine that we're going to want to go double speed, especially with the pump, because it's just going to be such a pain. For like the biggest thing we'd be waiting on is the water, literally just the water moving upwards. And if I give this power, it should all go fast. Yes, and I'm sure we have plenty of stress left. Alright, so on the back here will be sand. I am going to keep one sand to manually craft the first 2 seeds, because we are going to want to filter that. We don't want it to just spit. In fact, you know what? Did it actually do that? Did it just start spitting sand out and I didn't notice? Okay, cool. So it didn't just start spitting sand out. That's quite good. So that's filtered for that recipe. And now we want to... I suppose I could just toss that up there. One goes on. It's starting to grow. We're getting the sploosh achievement. It's going to take a little bit to refill, but that's pretty quick. That's pretty quick. I'm pleased with that. It could be faster. Maybe it will be. I mean, I have opportunities to do that. But for now, beautiful. Is that a perfect? Yep. Boop. Perfect. We're going to make sure this is not going to spit it out. Okay. And lock. Okay. And that should mean, if I place a chute here, even though that isn't perfect, pulls it out. To make a smart chute, I just need to melt a nugget of iron over over rose quartz. I could make a rose quartz right now. I have the redstone needed. And I could temporarily hook this up to... Okay, you know what? You know what? We're going to make an electron tube, because I refuse to ruin my beautiful design. Not the most efficient way to do it, but we can... Okay, fine. Don't use the pure ones. All right, whatever. I did pick up nether quartz for a good reason. Boop, rose quartz. Then we can take a piece of sand and convert that into sandpaper by, guess what? Combining it with paper. Not a very difficult crafting recipe. Hold one of the rose quartz or the sandpaper in your offhand. And there you go. You get a polished rose quartz. Hooray! Alright, we're going to break that. Break this. Place it back down so there's no fluids running through it. The melter here. The heater there. Put in the log. Melt a single nugget of iron. Seriously, that's all I need. Cool. And we are going to create our first electron tube. This is a very janky way to go about it, but beep, boop, baby. That's actually huge. So that's our first electron tube. That's really fun. We can now put this thing back together forever. Okay, so that should start pulling in water again. Happy, nice. And now we can create a first machine in the entire playthrough that can actually filter a smart chute, which incidentally completely invalidates the need for this drawer. But I'm gonna leave it, because otherwise that'd suck. Otherwise I'd have to change this up again. Actually, in fact, because I could also wait until it has 2. Although I don't actually think the depot will work on... I don't know. I mean, it's fine. I must be calm and reasonable. Okay, but I put that on. It'll continue spouting. It won't pick it up until it is the right one. Okay, there we go. It splits it in half. One is stored. One is crushed. Yes. Mix. Seeds. Yes. Oh, there we go. Yes, there we go. That's it. That's the machine. I did it, guys. It mostly worked the first try. I needed a little bit of extra help, but I actually did a machine. I think it looks pretty. It's nice. It has to be. This has to be nice.